I am somebody who believes in doing a cleanse, a physical cleanse, a cleanse for my body, like um, periodically, like at least once a year. I like to detox and cleanse my body because we take in a lot of toxins even when we eat clean. I mean, the air is bad, the water is bad, everything is contaminated. So it is really in your best interest to do that. So I do that, but it is not just, I want to make you aware that it's not just your physical body that needs to be cleansed from time to time. It is your emotional body as well. Now, how do you know if you need that, right? So let's talk about that. Let's talk about if you may need a emotional detox. So hi, thank you for being here. Welcome to the channel. My name is Sada Sharon Vandelis. I am a mind, body, spirit, holistic health coach for single women in midlife. And on this channel, we are all about creating a community that supports women, single women in midlife, to transform, to recreate themselves. Yes, that's what we do at this channel. We create community, supportive community. We provide guidance throughout the transformational process. We provide holistic health education, all of that good stuff. So if that sounds good to you, then be my guest. Stay tuned. So yeah, today let's talk about that emotional detox that is just as important as the physical detox. But how can you kind of tell if you need an emotional detox? Well, some of the signs are, maybe you're feeling overwhelmed, right? Just you feel like everything is just coming at you. You feel like you're spreading yourself thin. You got 1,000 things that are pressing upon you, and you feel overwhelmed on a daily basis. Then it may be time for you to do an emotional detox. Maybe you feel exhausted mentally, not physically. Maybe you feel mentally exhausted. Yes, maybe you can relate to that feeling, like your mind is just on overload. It's like, don't tell me anything else. You know what I mean? I can't even process anything else right now because I feel like I have so much on my mind already. Yeah? Then yeah, you may need to emotionally detox. Maybe you feel numb. Maybe, when sometimes you have, you've been exposed to so much stimulation, be it positive or negative, but in this case negative, that you numb. You're just numb. You're just in a place where everything just kind of like bounces off of you. You just you're not even aware of what's going on emotionally because you're numb. You can't feel anything anymore. You definitely need an emotional detox. Maybe you feel stuck in life. Maybe you feel like, I have been trying to change this aspect of my life, whether it is your physical weight or whether it is some other physical condition that you're struggling with, whether it is maybe your place of residence or your job or something that you've been trying to get out of, and you just feel like every time it looks like you're gonna get there, you're knocked backwards again, right? You kind of feel stuck. Then it may also be time for an emotional detox. You know, To tell you the truth, in my opinion, just having arrived at that place of being in midlife, you know, just being somewhere between 40 and 50, it may be time for you to do an emotional detox, because now you've been here a couple of decades, you've been through some stuff, and more than likely you haven't processed it all and released what needed to be released. You know what I mean? So yeah, just being in midlife, I would suggest to every woman in midlife to take that time to practice that self-care, to do an emotional detox. So let's get into what that would look like, right? Okay. So the objective, I would say the objective where you want to arrive is that you are now in a place where you can tell a whole different story about yourself. Because we have a story. We always have a story. Most of us have a story that we have identified with, that we feel that that's who we are. So, for example, I had a friend, a girlfriend, and when I met her, one of the first things that she told me, it's like she was trying to let me know who she is, right? So one of the first things she told me was that when she was 15 years old, her mother put her out of the house, her and her younger brother, who was only 9. She put them out because she had found herself a new man, and the man felt crowded, and he felt like he didn't want to be bothered with her kids, and she actually put them out in the street. I mean, mind-blowing, right? It definitely is something that will traumatize you at that age. And it did. It traumatized her. And unfortunately, she made that her identity. Even though she was lucky and blessed enough to have been placed in the company a few days later, because I think her best friend put her up for a few days, and then she met a man who was a few years older than her, because she was 15. I'm thinking he was like 25 or something. I'm not even gonna get into that. Still, it turned out to be a blessing, because he liked her, he cared for her, and he took her in, he gave her a place to stay, and somewhere down the line, they developed a love relationship. So he became her man, right? And she stayed with him for many, I don't know if it was 10 years, but she stayed with him for a long time. So she was not exposed to danger and things like that. So she was really lucky, and she could have focused on that. But I could see that as I got to know her better, that she operated, like everything she did, her whole disposition in life was still that 15-year-old girl that was put out by her mother. That 15-year-old girl that wasn't worth fighting for, that wasn't worth protecting, that wasn't worth cherishing. That's who she was. That's how she operated. But if you think about it, she could have also said to herself, this happened, but look who I am today. It made me the woman that I am today. I got lucky. I met a man who took good care of me. He nurtured me. He took care of me. He protected me. I got to go back to school. I got to get an education, all of those things. And I educated myself because she educated herself. So she could have been like, I'm a bad one. You know what I mean? I overcame, and I'm fierce, and that's who I am. I am a woman, a self-made woman. Just that. I'm a self-made, strong-minded woman. Instead, she was the 15-year-old girl who got put out by her mom. So she can write a new story about herself if she can look at all the good things that happened after this event, because things happen for a reason. Things happen so that we can become the person that we are, right? So if you value who you are, then you can't be mad at how you came to be who you are, right? I'm not saying that you will not have feelings toward, you know, the person or the people, but that's another level. That's another level. When you go digging deep and you want to really clean up, then you go there, right? So that's basically the point. So you want to get to a place where you can write a new story, one that feels good. Yeah? You can write a new story about yourself, one that makes you feel good. But to do that, you do have to go and peel off the layers and look at everything that you have not really let go, right? Things that are weighing you down. So you can ask yourself some questions. You can literally ask yourself, what pain am I still carrying? What disappointments, what hurts, what am I still carrying that happened in the past that didn't feel good, that hurt me deeply, that traumatized me? And sometimes you may even need to go get a little bit of therapy. You know what I mean? But that is up to you to discern. Now, once you have identified the things that you're holding on to that still hurt you to this day when you think about them, now you are gonna take a pen and paper and you're gonna write it out. You're gonna write the whole event out, everything that hurt you, you're gonna write it out, because it's like you're gonna purge. Yes? So for purging, you have to write it out, you have to feel it. I want you to feel it as you're writing it out. I want you to one last time allow yourself to feel it and write it out. Write. Have a good cry when you're writing. Actually, if you're not crying, you're not releasing. The tears, the crying is the evidence that you're releasing, that you're cleansing. Water is cleansing, okay? And when you're crying, it's not a form of weakness. Absolutely not. It is cleansing taking place. It is letting go. It's like, you know, I mean, you know, once you cry, you feel a lot better. We all know that. And still, we buy into this whole concept that crying is weakness. Come on, have a good cry. Have yourself a good cry. Write it out. And then when you are done writing it out, now you want to burn it. Be safe. Go outside, go on your balcony, go in your backyard, get yourself a lighter, sit down, and burn this letter. Burn it let it burn, baby. Let it burn. And as it burns, release. Look at it. Watch it burn. Watch it burn and crumble and disappear. Yes. Okay. All right. Now, after you're not done, after you burn that letter, and I want you to, as the letter burns, I also want you to let go. The people that were involved, I want you to let go of the negative emotions that you feel towards them. I want you to release all the negative emotions toward the people. I'm gonna say I want you to forgive. I want you to forgive, right? But just try to let go. Try to let go. And then I want you to write another letter. I want you to write a letter of forgiveness to yourself. And I want you to forgive yourself for holding on to things that happened years ago. Things that you allowed to shape who you are today in more of a negative than a positive. I want you to forgive yourself for carrying this weight with you up to this point. It's fine. It's fine. Just love yourself enough to forgive yourself. Okay? Because when you know better, you can do better. We don't ever have to carry weight around with us. If something happens, we can give ourselves the time and the care to sit with those emotions. Allow yourself to just feel the emotion. If you're upset, you're upset. If you're sad, you're sad because of something that happened. And then let it go. Release, forgive whoever needs to be forgiven, and let it go. Now, forgiveness doesn't mean that you need to become best friends with the person again. Not at all. Forgiveness just means that you give it up. You release it, right? You release it, you give it up, you let it go. You are no longer bothered by it. It can't be changed. What's done is done. There is a purpose in it for you. Maybe you can find that purpose. Maybe you can see how it made you a stronger person, how it made you more aware of this type of behavior in other people, how now you know something that you didn't know before, right? You can always find the lesson that something brings you. Because if you didn't learn that lesson, if you didn't need to learn something, it wouldn't have happened. Life doesn't just happen by coincidence. There are no coincidences in the universe. You know, the sun comes up every day. You can bet on that. Every day, the spring comes around, summer comes around. Everything is precise and deliberate. And so are you, because you're part of this universe. So your events are precise and deliberate, and they have meaning and they have purpose, no matter how ugly you may think they are. So I want you to forgive yourself. I want you to love on yourself. I want you to forgive yourself. Let it all be. And then I want you to write a third letter. And the third letter, I want it to be a love letter to yourself. So you're going to, say like, oh, what I love you for, Sada, if it was me, Sada, what I love you for is this and this and that. What I appreciate you for, what I respect you for, when you did this and when you did that. You're gonna write, you're gonna sit down and you're gonna think about all the amazing things that you accomplished, that you did for yourself, that light you up, that make you feel so proud and so good. I want you to take that time to do that for yourself. Trust me, you're gonna feel so much lighter and so much better. And then, last but not least, I want you to commit to a daily healing habit, because a cleanse is a cleanse, but then you also want to, once you've cleansed, you want to stay kind of clean, right? It's like, I cleanse my body once or twice a year, and then when I'm done with the cleanse, I don't go and jump and go eat some junk food again. No, I try to stay clean. Every time I've cleansed, I feel like I become a little more selective about what I eat, because now I want to keep my body clean, So same thing with your emotional body, with your emotional cleanse. Once you've done it, now you want to be mindful of what you do when you're feeling overwhelmed again, or hurt or sad, or something happens, somebody may have treated you a certain way, and now you want to make sure that you process this properly and not push it down, suppress it, you know what I mean? So I want you to find a daily practice that you commit to. It could be journaling. It could be that you take the time every morning to write a little bit about how you're feeling. Maybe something happened and you write it out, and you kind of process it while you're writing. It could be that you do some positive self-talk, right? You can write down a few statements. Only you know what it is that you need to tell yourself, right? To feel good. You may need to tell yourself, I'm worthy of being loved, or I'm worthy of living in abundance, or I'm worthy of having pure physical health. I'm worthy of great mental health. I'm worthy of happiness. I'm worthy of joy. You know what I mean? Write like a few affirmations down, like 3 or 4, that really that go with your situation, so to speak. That are tailored to you. And then you may want to say those things to yourself before you start your day, and not like a robot, but actually say it until you can feel it. Say it slowly. Concentrate on every word you're saying. Like, be in the moment with what you're saying, because words are power. You're blessing yourself this way. You have the power to bless your life because you're a co-creator. So you create your life with everything you do, everything you say, and everything you feel. All right. Like I said, maybe you want to go get yourself a coach, an actual life coach, or a health coach, or a therapist, that you speak to once a week. That would be great as well. What else? And for some people, taking a good walk in nature every morning, a nice, no hectic stuff, no, kind of exercisey type of thing, just a gentle, quiet walk that helps you to connect with Mother Nature so that she can heal you. Yeah, so those are some of my suggestions for a self-healing practice every day. So now, I want to hear from you. I want to hear if you already have a practice in place. I want to hear from you if you can identify the story that you have made you. Yeah, I would love to know if you have a story that now you realize that that's who you think you are. I want to know if you have a new story that is who you want to be. Yeah, this is good stuff. This is good stuff. So yeah, please comment below and let me know where you are. And until we meet again, I want to wish you lots of peace and love.